Once any species breaks the cradle of their own home planet and starts to expand throughout the universe, they have always come across one area of space that is considered far too dangerous for them to traverse. This area is covered with things like black holes and magnetic fields that are so powerful that they would rip most ships apart or make most equipment unusable at that point, as the sudden abundance of CMEs or solar flares would damage all their equipment. So, as each species reaches out, they have all considered this area the dead zone. It didn't matter what type of language they used, what type of dialect, it all came out to the same thing. You enter this area and you are done. Nothing could survive in there. Even the closest planets to the border are considered Class 12 death worlds, as their tectonic activity alone would make it impossible for any of the species to survive. This is not even to account for sudden changes of weather that would make any species inviable within a single solar rotation. So it was to everyone's surprise when something came out of the dead zone. It started light at first, small little tick tick ticks across the magnetic spectrum, originally dismissed as atmospheric bounce or universal background noise. However, it was soon followed several years later by things that were almost coherent. It was almost like language. What could this be? But it was almost always different. There was a similar dialect used across each one, but they could not understand. And this was one of the few things that started to draw species together, is their wonder about the dead zone. Several ships have been sent into the dead zone, but none have returned, each of them claiming that they have found a planet that possibly could hold life, but quickly after entering the atmosphere, they lose any and all communication. Since instantaneous transmission is quite literally impossible over those distances, it usually would be several solar rotations before they would find out what happened to the ship, that it was lost, or if it had actually recovered from whatever traumatic experience. But still, transmissions leaked out, not in their own language. And to this day, it is considered almost myth and legend that there's a blue planet somewhere deep in the dead zone, somewhere where life can actually survive, someplace horrors can come from, because only horrors could come from the dead zone. Nothing should be able to survive there, and everyone wonders what could possibly survive, and if it does survive, what could possibly come from the dead zone.